Welcome everybody to the Jacob Edwards Library. We're delighted to see such a large audience here this evening, and we have a wonderful group here called Quintessential Brass, and we are delighted to welcome them back to Southbridge, and it's thanks to the Southbridge Cultural Council that makes this possible. So if you know anybody in the Cultural Council, please thank them for funding our programs, because it really does make a difference, and we can do a lot with having the funding. So the group will do some comparing during the program, so I will, without further ado, turn it over to you guys. Quintessential Brass.
We are the Quintessential Brass. Quintessential Brass. Try saying that 3 times in a row quickly. You probably recognize that music we just played. That was the fanfare that John Williams wrote for the Olympics. And he wrote that quite some time ago, and it still is used for the Olympic opening ceremonies. John Williams you probably know because he was the conductor of the Boston Pops for quite a few years, immediately succeeding Arthur Fiedler. And before he joined the Boston Pops, he was already a very famous composer of music for the movies. I'll just tell you a few of them. He did Star Wars, which I'm sure you've seen, Schindler's List, E.T., Jurassic Park, and quite a few others. We're doing a lot of John Williams this evening because this is his 90th birthday year. He just turned 90. We're going to continue now with a medley of some of your favorite John Williams selections.
We're going to continue with more John Williams. And this is called Scherzo for X-Wings. This is from the 2015 episode 7, The Force Awakens. You'll hear some variations on the original Star Wars theme that you're very familiar with. And if you were watching this particular movie, you would hear this music when Poe leads his Resistance pilots in their T-70 X-Wings to destroy the First Order's Starkiller base. Dun, dun, dun. Of course, the most famous X-Wing pilot would be Luke Skywalker, who shot and destroyed the Death Star. And just for fun, I'll give you my source of information. This is from Wikipedia. Get it? Wookie, the Wookie.
That's where I get all of my information, especially about politics.
Two years. No, so.
Then we're going to play the theme from Schindler's List, which was a 1993 movie directed by Steven Spielberg. And the soundtrack from this album won an Academy Award, a BAFTA Award, and a Grammy, and a Golden Globe. And playing the part of Itzhak Perlman tonight is Adam on the trumpet. And Dave has something to say about this. Oh, yeah.
I had the pleasure of seeing John Williams conduct the New World Symphony in Miami Beach, probably just before COVID. Everything is either pre-COVID or post-COVID now. And Michael Tilson Thomas was conducting. John Williams was a special guest, and they were playing a lot of John Williams music. John Williams got up to conduct one of the pieces, and he told this story. He had just collaborated with Steven Spielberg on Raiders of the Lost Ark. In fact, John Williams wrote the music for all of Steven Spielberg's movies, save one. That's a lot of movies right there. And Spielberg gave John Williams the film, which had no music at that time, of course, and John Williams watched it and was profoundly moved by the movie, and went back to Steven Spielberg and said, you know, you need a better composer than I am to write the music for this movie. And Steven Spielberg replied, I know that, but they're all dead.
That's a good question. This is called the flugelhorn. It's the conical or cone-shaped equivalent to the trumpet. So whenever I want to go a little bit more mellow and match the timbres of a trombone and a French horn a little bit more closely, you switch to this instrument and you get that warmer color.
I know, I like it better.
Me too. Star Wars doesn't hit quite as right with the flugelhorn.
We're going to continue now with another movie theme. The movie theme it was originally a TV show, Star Trek. Different from Star Wars. Star Trek was a very different kind of a series, and all these other ones you hear about, in space, very militaristic, going and blowing people up and, big wars and everything like that. Star Trek was much more sort of optimistic and, looking into space as a positive future. And this was, I remember being, very, very young, and, we were all excited. We'd seen the advertisements for this, show coming in Australia, and, watching it, and then this beautiful theme coming out, rising from the ashes first, and then this, I think it's a glorious theme, and this is the theme from the Star Trek, the movie, and the Star Trek, the original series by Michael Giacchino, and also the main theme by Alexander Courage. So, yeah, strap on your hats and enjoy this lovely Star Trek theme.
Well, our next tune, Pure Imagination, hails from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. The original film was released in 1971, and this song was made famous by Gene Wilder, written by the British composers Anthony Newley and Leslie Bricusse. This tune has been covered by all variety of bands and people, singers. Some of the artists include Lou Rawls, Kenny Loggins, Maroon 5, Mariah Carey, Josh Groban, and our leader Leslie Havens plays with the Diva Big Band. It's an all-woman big band, and they've made a recording recording? Is it on one of the recordings?
CD, yeah.
Yeah, CD with
It's on a
this.
CD.
That's included. When Gene Wilder passed away in 2016, all the tributes that came in for him included this music in the background, and the streaming of this tune at that time, you know, just went through the roof. So it's a beautiful, beautiful melody, beautiful arrangement by Seb Skelly, our version of Pure Imagination.
I have another question. Your trombone has so many more circles to it. Why?
It has more tubing because the longer the tube, the lower the note.
Okay, so
So
you
mine-
sound bassy, so I was
Mine's a
wondering.
bass trombone.
Gotcha.
His is a large bore tenor.
Okay, that's a difference. Thank you.
We're gonna play the theme song from a movie called The Big Country from 1958. Starred Gregory Peck and Gene Simmons and Charlton Heston and Burl Ives. And the music was nominated for an Academy Award for original score. And Jerome Moross, who wrote the music to that, is pretty well known for writing the theme song from the TV show Wagon Train. So this is called The Welcoming from The Big Country.
It's huge.
How much does that weigh? A lot.
33 pounds, really? Maybe? Less than my dog.
Less than a dog. Should we, one, two, three.
We're gonna play another song from a Western-themed movie. The theme song from Blazing Saddles, which I think is the funniest movie I ever saw. 1974 movie. So Mel Brooks put out a call for a Frankie Lane style singer for this theme song, and Frankie Lane responded and said, "I'll do that." And when he did it, he really poured his heart out for this theme song. He had no idea that this was a spoof, this movie. So this is, he rode a blazing saddle, he wore a shining star, his job to offer battle to bad men near and far. You know, that sounds serious. So this is the theme of Blazing Saddles.
1, 2, 3. Now we're going to take it to 1976, the year before John Williams began writing for the Star Wars franchise. He wrote this march to commemorate a victory of a very important battle in the early 1940s during World War II. And this was the Battle of Midway, which happened between Japan and the US. And some believe it to be the big turning point of the war. And he was inspired to write this to highlight the positives of that situation while omitting some of the more tragic sides of things. So the Battle of Midway has been honored in many different ways, including this composition. And if you think over to the Chicago airport, it's actually named the Midway International Airport. So it's kind of neat how it's represented throughout history and in different ways and forms. So here's our rendition of John Williams' Midway March. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Before we wrap it up and talk about our last tune, I want to take a minute and just introduce you to all the members of the brass quintet. To my right, your left, that's Mike Pipeman on the trumpet. On the horn is Robin Milanazzo. Our fearless leader on tuba and bass trombone, Leslie Havens. On tenor trombone, Dave Lindsay. And myself, Adam Major, on the other trumpet part.
We're going to continue now with almost our last tune. Before John Williams came along, there were other prolific composers of music for the movies, and one of the best of those composers was Henry Mancini, and he wrote music to a lot of movies that you would recognize. We're going to play a medley of Mr. Lucky, The Pink Panther, Baby Elephant Walk, Charade, and a TV theme that he wrote that really brought him to the public's attention, the theme from Peter Gunn.
Peter Gunn.
for a fitting encore, we're going to feature our trombonist David Lindsay. And this is actually from another movie, but from The Wizard of Oz. And the famous one, of course, If I Only Had a Brain. But this is a very special arrangement because it was inspired by a Carl Fontana performance in Stuttgart, Germany in 2001. And Carl Fontana was a wonderful a jazz trombone player. He really opened up the the technique of playing very high up on the horn, very lightly, and beautiful lines. And this actually is like a printout of pretty much his arrangement of it, including a written out solo of his, but the main part of that is the special feature of Mr. David Lindsay on If I Only Had a Brain by Harold Arlen.
Thank you. We'd like to thank the Southbridge Cultural Council and Margaret Morrissey and the Jacob Edwards Library for hosting us tonight.